Once again, hello everybody. Welcome to episode number 12 of Internet Traffic Kings. I can't believe that we've got this many in so far. It's been doing great. I'm broadcasting from the campus of UNLV here in Las Vegas, Nevada. Starting to see things opening up just a little bit here as casinos are back open again on a limited basis as well. Gotten to get some visitors that are coming in, and I think we're just dealing with things from day to day. And that's the great thing about this show, is that we're bringing experts on, and these experts are phenomenal in the industry, and it's a wide array of different topics that we have. I want to remind you that this is a non-ad supported show, so which means you're going to get thousands upon thousands of dollars worth of information from our experts here. And there's a little bit of a catch. We want you to give us a 5-star rating on the Apple podcast. Want you to go to our website, Internet Traffic Kings, as well as check us out on our Facebook page and Internet Traffic Kings on our YouTube channel. And we're getting lots of hits from there. But today we're kind of dealing with it. We've got a great guest on the show here. Typically we have Bennett Kelly, the big dog, our internet attorney from internetlawcenter.net, is normally with us. He's working on some substantial cases right now, with everything starting to open up a little bit. So we decided to give him a little time to get those cases started. And so he'll be back in the following week, and things kind of clear out a little bit and stuff like that. But hey, there's our intro. You kind of know what this show is all about. Make sure that you contact us, and if you'd like us to talk about any particular item, talk about a topic or something, just let us know. And our executive producer, Kevin DiVincenzi, will basically handle that. So it gives me great pleasure, without further ado, to welcome the king, the Click Father, Kevin DiVincenzi. Hey, Kev.
Hey, John, how are you?
Good. Background a little different than normal. You're in your in one of your other homes in Las Vegas, and then for our next show, you'll be back at your Malibu beachside property, and we'll get the Internet Traffic Kings background and stuff like that. So hey, with or without a background, it's still good to see you, man.
Yeah, you know, I haven't been at this home in a little while, right, with COVID and everything, and it seems like these ducks took over my backyard. So literally, I've got all these ducks. This house is on a lake, literally in the backyard, swimming in the pool and laying eggs back there. So it's it's some scene.
Oh, so you're gonna have a lot of baby ducks then as
Baby
well.
ducks swimming around the pool, yeah. But
So, yeah, that's not such a bad thing, except you got to clean that pool.
I have a power washer coming this afternoon, because they also, they left me a lot of surprises up and down the.
It's true. And so, yeah, that's what happened. They figure, hey, nobody's coming here for a while, so let's go for that. Gosh, some interesting stuff that's been going on over the last couple of weeks, and I think adaptability is the word that we're looking for, and in spite of everything that is going on, you know, we focus so much, not we, but many of our media focuses on so many of the bad things that are going on, and we don't get a lot of emphasis on there's some really great things that are going on, some great people that are out there, you know, from the first responders and the frontline people, and looks like, you know, we're kind of seeing the light at the end of the tunnel, and it's not a train coming at us. It's really positive information, and we're seeing a lot of that through the guests we have on this show as well, that they're doing stuff. But I'm finding a lot of our guests, Kevin, you being one as well, that are really offering a significant amount of help to people that want to pivot, and they want to turn, want to reinvent themselves.
Right. Yeah, John. I mean, pretty much every episode I offer, if somebody needs to pivot their business, I normally charge $1,000 an hour to consult, being I've got 24 years in this space, and I can, you know, navigate you away from a lot of the pitfalls that you'll run into normally. I'm doing it for free right now. Just if somebody needs help in their business with an existing business and they need to know how to pivot in this time, I can probably lead them in the right direction.
Well, and you know, even at
startups, I have an idea, because my time is limited. It's more for an established business that said, you know, I was doing great up until now, Kev, but now I'm stuck. What do I do? How do I adapt? I can help them adapt for this new world 2.0.
Well, yeah, and the great thing about us, people don't realize that when you hire a consultant, they don't realize they look too much at what the cost of that consultant is and not about how much money they're going to save and how quickly they're going to expand their business to where that consulting fee really becomes negligible if you get to the market in a fast pace. Whereas if you do it yourself and you make mistakes cost money, time costs money. And
Opportunity cost. Absolutely. A lot of people don't look at that. They'll be like, oh, you know, I don't want to put 10,000 into this, but if they actually look at, say it's a campaign, how a campaign is poorly underperforming, and if I can lift that campaign by, call it 20%, the $10,000 they paid me is going to pay them back in less than a month. You know, I do the same thing when I do consulting for some of my pay-per-call clients. You know, I said, look, it's basically, it's like it's $1 a call that you're paying me essentially when you break it down. So it's literally for $1 a call more, you're getting all this value-added service, as opposed to not. You're getting the volume you need, you're getting the transparency you need, the compliance, et cetera. So, you know, but some people just look at it as a dollar amount as opposed to where, you know, and that's why many companies can't take that leap digital and be very successful because they don't understand where they should be investing their money.
And so you just take something that as simple as a website, you know, understanding that is your silent salesman, if you will. That website is working 24 hours a day. They never ask for a raise. They never complain. And if it's done right, you've always got somebody out there that's that on a moment's notice can buy your product, and you can get them from website to product sales and drive people through their front door as well.
If you deliver the right message, and that's one of the challenges, John, is if you have a retail store, you know aesthetically what that looks like. So you know, I want to, you know, put a big open sign on there, and I want to put a for sale, you know, sale 70% off sign in the other window, and I want to put this mannequin over here, and you're able to do that. People in there, a lot of times with websites, don't understand the consumer experience or even think about, well, when somebody comes to my site, what do they see? Like when somebody walks up to your store. And how am I going to engage that person? I don't have a physical salesperson to say, hi, I'm John, nice to meet you. What are you looking for? So how do I do that? How do I bridge that gap and make them feel very welcome and also guide them down the path that I want to guide them down, whether it's a sale, a lead, whatever it may be, or to pick up the phone and make a phone call. So that's vital. And a lot of people just overlook that. And that's the first thing when I get a client, especially from our performance-based advertising portion, the first thing is, let me see your website. You know, Kevin, I have this great widget. That's wonderful. Let me see what the website looks like. Because that's the first thing to tell me if they've even taken the proper approach and if I can be helpful to them as far as scaling a campaign. Because if not, then it goes back to our last show with Evan Weber on, there's a multitude of things they have to do first before you can even take them as a client for, you know, achieving sales leads or what have you.
Well, yeah. In fact, on his on Evan's website, he lists those things that are basically on there. And one of the things that you can suggest is you can offer up thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars worth of free information out there that many people wouldn't even know about. So because you've been in the business long enough, you've watched the business change, and you figured out a way to change with it and adjust and do more of the things that are working and less of the things that aren't working. And that in itself right there is getting from 0 to 60 as quick as you possibly can. And in this particular case, driving an electric car. And so, but kind of moving through things, you've mentioned in the past that the numbers are changing, that traffic prices have actually been even more cost effective. Now, what are you seeing in that space?
Yeah, traffic prices have come down, you know, call it 30% across the board. The only major difference is the shift in advertising where, you know, I mentioned this in the last podcast, provide more value, provide more content instead of asking for a sale. People aren't looking right now to buy high ticket items. And as far as an influencer or somebody, you know, again, I'll go back to an Evan Weber, Neil Patel, Ryan Dice, you know, any of the big names out there. What are they doing? They're providing free content right now. And they're saying, look, in this time, I'm going to help you as best I can. And then eventually down the line, you might consider me, but that's not what I'm doing it for. I'm just trying to provide value. And if you do that and you provide value in your offer, then you stand a chance to still do well in this market. So what I'm saying is, even with traffic prices down, you still have to look at what value proposition you're doing right now and adjust for that. So not high ticket Rolexes or, things that may have done really well. I mean, clothing sales, clothing apparel was down 80% last month, 80%. So imagine we have some properties. We have a flip-flop site. We have a tie-dye site. We have a bunch of different little e-commerce businesses. All of them are doing horrendous right now. So we're not even investing any money or any time in them because there's nothing there that people are looking for, whereas people are looking for services, people are looking to learn, people are looking to, for different things. Just adjust with the market, adapt or die, right?
Well, yeah, and I think that's true. You mentioned on the last show that a lot of businesses are closing up, and many of those businesses are not going to come back. And on the other side, the brick and mortar businesses are basically going more and more to an online presence. And
well, they have to, John. A lot of the established ones never really thought they needed online. Never thought they needed to change their business. I mean, my brother manages a very prestigious restaurant in New Jersey. Very old school type of restaurant with a very, with an older clientele. And after COVID, they're now only open on weekends, only doing takeout, which they would have never thought to do takeout before. Yeah. And that's the adjustment you make. And now they're on the food delivery apps and all these different things. And, if you ask the gentleman that owns that establishment, he's owned it for 40 or 50 years. If he ever thought he would go digital, he would have never thought about that. But now he is. Yeah. But you have to.
And even more so now, more people in that age range of that clientele, if you will, they're getting more comfortable with the internet. They're getting more comfortable with internet purchases and stuff as well. And so all of this virus that took place has really changed a lot of people's lives. And I gotta say, somewhat for the better. Imagine the rents that you pay in New York and how people are going to be able to downsize some of those brick and mortar offices and buildings and stuff like that by having 50% of their staff working at home.
Yeah, I think what's going to happen is, a lot of the bigger companies, Oracle is a notable one, have already told all their employees they'll be teleworking at least through the end of the year. And I think what will happen is when they're looking back at this year and they look at their productivity, if they see an increase in their productivity, they may consider not having an office, just going virtual. Because we've all been forced to do this now. And I got to tell you, I mean, I've been doing it for as long as I can remember, but for a lot of people, this is new. And once they get over oh yeah, I'm home, I can watch TV and eat popcorn all day, and they realize they still need a work environment and they need to be able to work, it's a lot more effective. And I'm sure they're seeing increased productivity hours as well, because now it's blended. Now, I'm not saying that's good or bad, but I'm saying now it's blended. I mean, you know me, John, I'm taking phone calls at 11 o'clock at night, right? My international clients. Because my business is 24/7. I think even from an employee standpoint, you're going to see a better output from your employees because they're not handcuffed with having to travel to work, having to travel back home. Oh, I just got home. I haven't been home all day. I want to spend time with my kids or whatever. It kind of blends, right? So it's going to be interesting. I said it before. I definitely wouldn't want to hold any commercial real estate right now.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, and own any commercial real estate in Las Vegas, of course.
Or anywhere.
So now we're going to kind of move on. We've got a really great guest. We've known him for a long time. He's been a great contributor to our industry as well. We've got him in our plush break room, our green room, where it's fully stocked, and you can see he's got a smile on his face. So he's been hitting the tequila as well. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome from Blitz Metrics our special guest star, Dennis. Dennis, good to see you again.
John and Kev, good to see you again and again.
Yeah, as well. And so, so you're in Phoenix now. Kevin is normally in Malibu. I'm here in Vegas. Our internet attorney, the big dog Evan, our big dog he's in Santa Monica as well and stuff like that. So we're keeping our distance. We're social distancing as well and stuff. So I had a chance to go to your website and I've been around for a while now, and this thing's kind of kicking off, and you've really done phenomenal with it. So the offerings that you have on that website and the things that you have are really, really doing well. Tell us what's been going on in your neck of the woods.
Well, I had 12 conferences I was supposed to speak at cancel on me in the last 3 months, as you can imagine. I was so excited. There are a couple countries in Europe that I've never heard of that I wanted to go visit And the day before digital marketers shut down for coronavirus, we taught a full day workshop there. And that day I wouldn't have known would be the start of 3 months of working from home, because I thought, this is just going to be like a temporary thing, right? And
We all did, yeah.
the next day, Ryan made an announcement saying that he was going to make all the courses on digital marketer free. And I thought, that's a really kind thing to do, like Kev just mentioned. So we're going to do the same thing as well. And in the next couple of weeks, we had 2,000 people register for our training, which surprised me. And since then, we've been doing these weekly webinars and providing our training and helping, as you know, John, like a bunch of young adults and not so young adults be able to start their agency, and helping local businesses. So this is such a weird situation because there's so many local businesses that are struggling, not just the restaurants that are the most visible, but all the other service businesses. People don't want to go to the hospital or get their nails done, or they don't want to see their attorney. They don't want to talk to, they don't want to buy real estate as much. And so we want to help these businesses, and we see that as the demand side. So we have tens of thousands of businesses that have come to us asking for help. And then we have thousands of these people that want to start their agencies because they're at home. They want to learn a new job. They're not allowed to go to work right now. And we're in a really cool place because we're able to bring both of those sides together. So, Kev being like the internet traffic king, I feel like I'm the online job king, creating jobs for people.
Well, you've got some great programs, and go to blitzmetrics.com and you'll see some of those programmings. I'm here on the campus of UNLV here at Las Vegas, and so I deal with students on a daily basis. I loved what you're doing with students as well, and as a workforce and as a training opportunity for the youngsters out there. Get them started young.
Yeah. And these local businesses, they don't know the basics when it comes to social media, claiming their Google listing. There's so many things they're not doing right that to young adults is super obvious, and even folks that are not so young. So if we think like John and Kev, your favorite restaurants, like your buddy in New Jersey, Kev, right? Is he saying, for example, what percent of businesses are, for example, saying that they're open, right? Telling everybody, hey, we're still open, limited service, or you can order it and we'll deliver it to the curb, or we'll still see certain patients, or we'll do it by phone. Like what percent of businesses are doing that?
I think in his case, and I can confirm it, he probably individually called each and every one of his regular customers and told them, hey, we're open for takeout. But you're right. And now these businesses are forced to evolve.
Yeah.
But you hit the nail on the head. They don't know how.
Yeah. So they first have to be able to tell everyone they're open.
Right.
Two, if they have to say that they're open every day. Every day they need to tell people they're open. You can't just tell people you're open 3 months ago and hope that people are going to see it.
I can tell you there's even in Malibu, I order from Bastro's and I order from some of these finer restaurants, which obviously it's not the same ordering, but right. I only order from them because I get their menus. I get an email saying, hey, we're open, Kevin, and here's the special we're doing today.
Yeah.
Beside that, you're absolutely right, because there is so much uncertainty, and with a third of all shut down, you don't know who's open and who's not open.
And then you do a search here on Google on your phone, and you look them up, and you see a little warning. You see a little orange warning under it in the 3-pack where it says, warning, this business might not be open,
right?
Because of coronavirus and whatnot. And then you're like, I don't know if I should go there. I don't know if I can call them. So then you call them, you ask them if they're open. But did you know businesses can go into their listing and merely update their hours so that warning doesn't show up?
Yeah. We know that.
But businesses are maybe 3%, 2% of businesses are updating their hours to show that they actually are open or not. Think about how much business those people are losing by not doing something as simple as that.
Yeah, I see it all the time, and the thing about it is if you drive all the way over there and then they're not open, you've lost that customer, forever. They'll never come back, because something that simple and something that quick that is good information. And I think the other thing is that if you are going to contact your client base, just don't call them to say, hey, do you want to buy something? Call them with some information, something that makes you stand out a little bit. Hey, just wanted to let you know that this, or let you know this is going on, and we've got whatever. And so you give them a little bit of value, and they'll remember that that law of reciprocity.
There's got to be value right now, John. Look at the position of the gyms.
Yeah.
And I've seen a couple of gyms pivot. There's a spinning class in Sherman Oaks, California that I was a member of years and years ago. And what they do when COVID hit, they send an email out and said, rent our bikes for $250. And the first couple
Smart.
hours, every bike was gone. They maintain the membership base and they do online classes. Brilliant, right? Now, how does class pass adjust as well? Class pass is the service that you pay a membership fee and you can do all these different gyms, right? Today, Dennis, you can go to this class. Tomorrow, they're also not really operating right now. So what did they do? They turned everything online, said it's 100% free, and all we're asking you to do is maybe make a donation to your instructor so they can get through this time. So they're keeping their membership, they're keeping people active, they're keeping their community. You know, it's a tough thing to do. The wrong thing to do is what the other gyms are doing, charging you and you can't go. You know, I've got a 24-year-old boy says, Dad, I'm getting charged for meditation and this and this and that. And I'm like, Natalie, just cancel them. I can't. I'm on a contract. I'm like, yeah, but they can't provide you service. That's not fair. And if they tried and they said, you know what, Dennis, we have meditation. It's online. I know it's different. We're in a different time, but please support us. We're a small business. Okay, I can respect that. But just to sit there and charge people, that's not going to work very well. I do think we're going to see a lot of lawsuits coming up. It's too bad we don't have Bennett Kelly on to talk about it in regards to these memberships, you know, the 24-hour fitness and just how do you charge somebody for something you don't have, you can't deliver. I know Ticket is being sued right now. Major League Baseball is being sued. I mean, you know, I get they want to hang on to their money, but it's not a very fair thing to do to people. You know what I mean?
Look at the universities. Like, John, what's UNLV going to do? How many students are going to come back in the fall?
Well, many of those students, first of all, they're not going to be allowed to come back until the fall. They're so used to online right now. They're already talking about seeing as up to 50% of the students that are not going to come back because they've gotten used to this and stuff. But I think we're going to see that at universities all around, if you will. And I think there's going to be a major shift in the university field around. Like I'm here in our studio here. And we have a radio station here as well. So most of the time I'm here, it's myself, our program director, and one DJ in the entire building. And so, yeah, it's safe for me to be here. But
yeah, I mean, the education system's flawed. That's a totally different topic. But I do think that there is going to be a major shift. And then you come into the discussion, what's an online education versus an offline education in regards to tuition. You know, I have a 6-year-old in a private prestigious school in California. I won't mention the school. It's a very, very high tuition, you know, more than some people make in a year. And I'm only saying that if you don't have if you're not going to campus, you don't have the coaches, you don't have the history, you don't have everything with that school. It's great. They have great Zoom learning and the teachers are wonderful and the staff is wonderful. But do I really want to invest that type of money in an education that's happening online? I mean, that's where you're really going to have to, you know, make those decisions, you know, and I think that's happening a lot, you know, and you know, it's when we see World 2.0, it's going to change dramatically, you know.
Dennis, let's go down.
John, let me just finish this thought.
Sorry, Kevin.
As I'm thinking, you know, like entrance into college, if everything goes online, you know, I want to go to Harvard and say, hey, Dennis, you know, you're a lot more intelligent than me. You know, go fill out my app and take my SAT. And there's going to be a lot of that going on too. It's going to be really interesting. So
a little more varsity blues going on there.
Setting the tone. So when my new background's my Harvard diploma behind me, you know, being I'm an eighth grade dropout, I want to have the Harvard diploma to show you that, you know, me and help from a couple of my friends, I got it right.
Well, Dennis, what I was going to say was let's go through the different tabs on your website and explain to the different services that you offer.
So imagine Uber for marketing, or if you've taken, do you remember college economics and you learn supply and demand?
Yep.
So if you think about Uber, there are drivers and there are riders. And when we think about digital marketing, there are the people that are providing the service and there are people that are buying the service. So there's local businesses that need help. Chiropractors, plumbers, garage door people, mortgage brokers, and there are people providing the services to drive those leads. We are helping both sides. And we're so fortunate that we've created courses together with Facebook and with Google and GoDaddy and Digital Marketer and Social Media Examiner and all these other guys to be able to train at both sides. The cool thing is that when we put out all that free training, let's say for the local business and saying, hey, with coronavirus, this is what you need to do to survive. Or if you have a gym, here's how you not lose your memberships by doing the things that Kev mentioned, right? We provide that training there, and it's step by step. And we actually have them as 48 different books like this.
Oh, wow.
And they can go to the online courses. We have a lot of that inside Lightspeed and LearnDash. You know, Brad's just down the street at Lightspeed. And they can go through these courses and implement it themselves. But guess what happens when a small business owner like a chiropractor tries to go through how to set up Google Tag Manager and remarketing pixels that fire based on certain events and triggers? How likely, at a certain point, they're like, what happens, right? And then they find out that, you know, we have these kids that are from the University of Louisville or from UCLA or from Hofstra or from 12 other universities that we work with that are certified and doing that particular checklist, that particular course that they're going through. Someone else has gone through it over and over and over again. And you only have to pay them $200 to do that. And it might take you, even if you're an internet traffic king, it might take you a whole day to be able to set that whole thing up, because things change all the time inside Facebook and Google Analytics and all that. It'll take you a whole day to go through the training. Then it'll maybe take you 4 or 5 hours to implement the whole thing. And then you might not have done it right. And then you have to troubleshoot what's going on because, you know, the pixel's not firing properly or what have you. The conversions aren't firing. Or you could just pay someone a couple $100s to get that done. And meanwhile, you're helping the local economy out. You're creating a job for someone else. And they're making more money than they would working at Chili's. You know, Chili's, you're going to make what, 10 or 12 bucks an hour? And this works out to 25 or 30 bucks an hour. So it's a win for everybody. We're building supply and demand. And the good news is we've got a lot of universities and a lot of folks who are training up these providers. Like we have onlinejobs.ph. They have 1 million Filipinos.
Oh, wow.
They're the largest one. John Jonas is a good buddy of mine, full disclosure. We have agency owners that are from Vendasta, and there's several thousand that have come through that training. We have people in Digital Marketer, Social Media Examiner, thousands of these folks that are coming in and earning their certification. Maybe instead of watching Netflix, they're learning how to edit video. They're learning how to interact on Zoom. They're learning to build a course, learning how to do WordPress, right? So they're learning how to do all these things to earn the certification. And then on the other side, you have the customers that want to buy. And the cool thing is we have both sides, so we can bring them together. It's like instead of like a dating website, sort of like marketing dating, if you will, for businesses, for local businesses that need help. And it's a really cool position to be in because we are neither the supply nor the demand. We're just bringing it together.
Well, especially in this day and age when so many people are out of work, right? Record number of unemployment. Yeah. To be able to say, you know, we do quite a bit of education advertising, right, for Canada and also for the U.S. And most of those degrees are 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, and then you may get a job, right?
Maybe.
Where for you, it sounds like it's a quick path to let me put my head down, let me focus, let me get certified, and now I have a service a value that I can offer.
Yeah.
So that's amazing, and you have both ends of it. So that's great.
And you guys know better than anybody.
Bondy, you know, next episode because he's going to be certified in something.
Certified crazy.
Between us three, we have 60-something years of digital marketing experience, right?
Absolutely.
And we've seen everything come and go. Now imagine if other people could shortcut the experience that we have and in a matter of a few weeks, learn how to competently drive leads, how to set up call tracking, how to set up Google ads, how to show up in local search results, right? And we can teach them how to do that in a few weeks, and they can confidently offer that to local businesses without ever needing to sell because we're giving them the local business clients. We're giving them the chiropractors and real estate agents and whatever because we already have all those associations because they've come to us. And instead of me speaking, now they want to do Zooms and things like this. So we can give these people the certification, and more importantly, we can give them the job too. So imagine if colleges said, you know, you can earn this degree and it's super expensive and what have you, but if you get this degree or this certification, I'm guaranteeing you jobs.
Yeah. You have the ultimate placement assistance program. That's amazing. Funny, I looked at Vendesta a couple of years ago. They weren't where I needed them to be as far as an agency to work with, but really, really good concept.
Well, look where it is now. I've been following. I remember meeting George and Brendan and the other folks before they started Vendasta.
Oh, wow.
And in the last 3 years, it's incredible what I'm not being paid to say this. I believe in what they're doing. I've lost several $1 million in the last 10 years doing this. I intend to lose a few $1 million more doing this because I believe it's the right thing. I'm not doing it for the money.
Got it. Wow.
Well, and that's the proof is in the pudding, and that passion is there. And for me, I don't have time to learn all that stuff because I'm a producer, I'm a director, and so I don't have the time to do all these things that I know I need to do for our television network. And so to hire somebody, particularly at those prices, is a great investment for a business owner like me to make. And because the fact of the matter is I know that it's going to work. And the longer I don't bring these group of experts in to do this stuff, Kevin, that's just money out the window for me.
Well, that's one of the challenges, right? It's like, I wouldn't try and trim my own landscaping, right? I hire an expert.
Right. Exactly.
Even my pool, even though I'm like, man, I pay $115 a month for a lap pool, and I'm like, I'll learn it. I'm like, no, I won't. I'll just let the guys that do it. Right. A lot of people they do shortcuts, and then they think, and what's most mind-boggling to me, Dennis, is some of these guys are spending big money on Google, right? When I say big money, they're spending $1,000 a day, $2,000 a day, $5,000 campaign, and it's optimized. And I'm going, do you realize I can save you $1,000 a day and half an hour just by optimizing that?
Yep.
Like you're investing in your business anyway. You're just doing it in the wrong way. It's just, it's insanity. But you're right.
People, because they'll say, my goodness, like it's $1,000 an hour, whatever you charge, Kevin. And we'll say, it's really expensive. Hire an amateur.
Well, yeah, right. You're right. And that's why I think a lot of like the people that do energy audits and things like that, brilliant the way they do it because they charge a percentage of what they save you, which I thought about at times, when I had certain, hard-nosed clients on the phone that are like, I'm not going to pay this. I don't want to invest. I was going to be like, okay, how about if I save you and I charge you 25%? Why would you charge me 25% of what you save me? Well, you don't want to pay $1,000 an hour and you don't think I'm going to save you and I'm putting my money where my mouth is and being purely performance-based. How about it, So. Sure. Yeah.
Well, we're gonna hold you over for just a couple of minutes, Dennis, and we'll have some closing thoughts here in just a second. So, hey, Kevin, kind of going back to what we're talking about and stuff like that. Your whole family's been home for 2 months now and stuff like that. And
we actually started quarantine pretty much before everybody else did. When it first broke out, just because I have a 6-year-old that goes back and forth to 2 homes, so just to be really safe, we started very early.
Yeah. So how is the little clique doing anyway?
The 14-month-old Dylan, now named Little Click. He's doing great. He had a fight with a 80-pound desk 2 weeks ago that was kind of interesting. So he ran ahead of me and grabbed this really large desk and pulled it down, and it landed smack on his leg. So I thought, oh shit! Now we have a challenge. Screamed for about 15 minutes. The next morning he got up and he couldn't walk. So every time I put him down, he would just drop to the floor. Put him down to walk, drop, and I'm like, oh boy, something's going on. So now, with COVID going on, I called a doctor in Santa Monica, and he said, okay, let's bring him in, let's look. You probably have a fracture. No fracture. No damage. He was walking, within 2 hours. So, of me bringing him in. So he's doing great. He's a tough kid. So I got
That's great. I mean, we often say that, hey, we have the experts in the industry on this particular show, but we put these experts up so high on a pedestal, we forget to realize that all of us are real people with real lives and real challenges and stuff, and we got to take some time for ourselves and have some fun. So, Dennis, tell us what we should know, and tell us what we need to know in closing here.
If you can afford to invest in your business and get ahead and grab market share, now is a crazy time. Like Kev was saying about the traffic costs, like we see on Facebook and Google, we haven't seen since 2012. It's like going into your favorite store and everything is 70 to 80% off.
Right. No inflation.
However, when you buy it, you can't pick it up for 90 days. So you've got to add value. You've got to teach them. You got to build relationships so that as things start to open back up, they remember you and they're going to buy from you versus from that other Rolex dealer. That's the main thing that people need to know. If you're a business owner, even though there's a crisis going on, this is the best time actually to grow your business and to be an entrepreneur. And you look at any other, now we never had anything like this before, but if you look at these cycles of ups and downs, when there was a big down, that was when the greatest surge of innovation and entrepreneurship ever happened.
Yeah, I actually saw that, Apple was formed during a recession. Many major companies were always formed when there was a down in the market. I agree.
Yeah, because that's when you get the talent. That's when you can train people. That's when attention is easy to buy. That's when you can put together networks like we're doing now, right? That we have so many good people that we've been able to hire. I think we hired 4 people last week. And I would never be able to hire people like that in an up economy. Not to say that I want bad things to happen in the economy, but it's an employer's market if you can hire people, right? Think about how many good people. They're good people. It's not their fault. They got let go in the kind of business that they're in. They just, one of my friends, that they do event consulting for concerts and things, festivals, and obviously that whole thing's shut down.
Right.
So we can hire her, right? It's easy to hire these people. And you're doing good things in the community. So it's not like you're taking advantage of a crisis, right? We're not trying to sell marked up N95 masks. We're doing a good thing.
Awesome, man. Dennis, it was really great to have you on the show.
Thank you, Dennis.
Great knowledge, great opportunity, great things that you're doing for people. And I love your audio is great, your lighting is great, and you're great when you're on stage as well. So I hope we have a chance to see you out there in the trenches here in the near future.
Dennis, let's talk about how to get in contact with you.
Yes.
Yes, go right ahead.
Google me or connect with me on LinkedIn or send me an email, dennis@blitzmetrics.com. But whatever you do, don't make a friend request on Facebook because the limit's 5,000 and I've been at that limit for 12 years. But I'm happy to help. I would love to hear how you guys are doing. Just like Kev giving out his time to help other people. Your time's limited, my time's limited, but I love to help people and I always reply. It might take me a couple of days, but I always reply.
Great. Thank you so much.
Thanks again for being with us. We're going to have you back
Thank you,
on
guys.
and kind of see what we can do about getting through this. Kevin, closing thoughts, man.
Closing thoughts from a personal standpoint, one of the things that's overlooked right now with COVID is mental health. And you're seeing, certain celebrities are finally coming out now and they're talking about it. I've got severe anxiety and different things.
Yeah.
And one thing I've done is, be there. Even though we're so busy, be there. So I'll reach out to people that I haven't spoken to in years. Just, hey, Dennis, how are you doing? Well, Kevin, I'm living well. Tell me, and try and add something. Just be present in their life, because that's one of the very unfortunate things that's going to happen as a result of COVID is the depression, and suicide rate going up and all these things. So just to be there sometimes, and that's all it takes. Unfortunately, I've had a few people in my life that I've known closely commit suicide, and it's a very selfish act in my opinion, but also it leaves you thinking, well, shit, I should have reached out a little bit more. You now carry that guilt.
Yeah.
So, if it was a small disargument from years ago, squash it, get back on the phone. I mean, it's better to be able to communicate with somebody, and you never know when that time of need is. I've had phone calls where I said, you don't know how impactful this is right now that I needed that call. And that you can do remotely. You can do a Zoom call, do a call, and obviously family members too, parents, grandparents. I mean, it's very important to stay connected. We stayed connected before. We never really focused on the physical connection because we're always like, oh yeah, I can text or whatever. And now that's pretty much all you can do. So really focus on that and focus on ways you can improve that communication. I think that's really key to us.
Amen.
Moving into World 2.0.
That is awesome. Normally Bennett Kelly, the big dog, is with us. He is got some big cases that he's kind of wrap up and finish up here. He'll be on the next show with us. You can reach him at internetlawcenter.net to reach out and touch base with him, and he'll get back to you just like Dennis will. So we want to thank all of you that joined us as well. Remember, we're a non-ad supported show, so you can show your love for all of us by going to our different websites and going to Apple Podcasts. Give us a 5-star rating. Go to our website, internettraffickings.com, our YouTube site, and our Facebook site, and reach out with us, stay with us and stuff, and go back and visit our shows because we got great guests on there. We are broadcasting from the campus of UNLV here in Las Vegas. I'm the Big Fabu, John Fondi. It's been a great time seeing everybody, and we'll see you next time on Internet Traffic Kings.